My name is Mansher Khera. I'm 24 years old. I started training when I was 17. I grew up in India, and my uncle was a wrestler in India. So I was always like, I knew this is what I wanted to do.
First off, I didn't know your dad or your uncle was was a grappler, a wrestler in India. Do you know any of the history behind that?
Yeah, I'm familiar with the style because I actually went back when I was still a white belt in Jiu Jitsu and wrestled in the mud. And I had the cloth. They put on the traditional cloth, and that's all you wear. And then the idea is very similar actually to gi jiu-jitsu, whereas you're supposed to use the mud, so that way your sweat doesn't let you slip out of things. So you have a better grip of things, right? You get a better control of everything you hold, and and it makes your technique more cleaner. And it's very similar to jiu-jitsu in gi. If you get good grips, you have good control, everything is clean, right? There's nothing sloppy. There's not a lot of crazy scrambling happening, So I think in that form it was very similar, and I think it's different than the way I think we look at martial arts in America, because they I just remember they really it was holy for them. Like the mud itself was holy for them. They almost prayed to it. They were I don't know. They treated it like it was a god. And they were, and it was it's a surreal experience because you don't see those things anymore. So when I went back and I trained with those guys, it made me humble. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
You have the previous experience of grappling and wrestling in India. Come to the States. How did you end up here at Edge?
For me, what brought me to Edge was just from doing jiu-jitsu tournaments and seeing some of the wrestlers come that they have good wrestling, and then they also have great jiu-jitsu, and then they mixed the two together so well, and it was just it's like the worst kind of opponent. That's the last guy you want to fight. That's just tough everywhere. And I just remember when I first came here, it was actually right after I got third place at the World Championships as a brown belt, and it was just hunger to keep improving. I knew I was lacking, and for me, doing a martial art is being complete, right? It's being understanding everything, right? That's what I consider a black belt to be, good at any position everywhere, right? That's my ultimate goal. And I think when I clearly knew I needed wrestling.
This year, it came out first rounds of the Worlds. You had a wrestler. Tell us about your confidence level going into that match versus when you took third at the Worlds before. Tell us about not only your confidence level, but I guess difference in strategy.
The difference I would say this time is at brown belt I fought a wrestler that was not the same caliber of a wrestler that I fought at black belt, as far as credentials go. And I just remember getting caught in low singles that are I simple down block would just stop it, but it's just getting caught and not knowing what to do and just being like, damn man, I suck, and then the guy got me down twice in the same exact move. And I guess again, that was at Worlds, right? So right after I started wrestling, so that was definitely one of the reasons why I came. I realized I was lacking. But then going into black belt Worlds, I had a tough wrestler, D1 wrestler. So when he shot on my legs and he got on my legs, I just I wasn't sure what was gonna happen. I mean, if you look at the probabilities he's gonna get me down, right? But I just remember being in the moment and being like, oh, I'm not gonna go down. I'm not gonna go down. I'm gonna keep fighting. And I feel like I could have even had that at brown belt, but I never had that, that I was never comfortable enough to do that, even if I had it in me, And I just feel like, being able to wrestle at Edge brought that out of me. Just being comfortable, feeling good, on your feet, and it doesn't matter who it is, because I train with some guys here that are NCAA champions, and of course they toy with me, but just being like, all right, what? I was able to stay on my feet with this guy for a little bit, so I should be fine against this guy. It's not gonna be a problem. So just giving me that confidence and just having that mental toughness of just staying on top even when this guy's deep on my leg. So I really would like to, from the bottom of my heart, like to thank Edge for that. What wrestlers do so well that I'm starting to see that I can start to apply to jiu-jitsu is the pace of wrestlers. They're very, very, very good at going from a defensive position to offense right away. There's no in between. There's no I defended and now all right, let's reset. No, we don't. Wrestlers don't have that, and which is a very great quality, because I think that breaks people. A lot of people in jiu-jitsu tend to hold, positions just because that's the art. There's a lot of grip fighting, and especially in the gi. Once you hold the opponent, it's hard to move. But not only has wrestling made my takedowns better and being on top better, but it has actually made my jiu-jitsu better, because wrestling, it was something new for me, and it allowed me to be comfortable standing on my feet, shooting takedowns. So why can't I evolve as a jiu-jitsu fighter, doing the same thing, right? Trying new techniques that I would have never done before. First of all, I would like to thank my teams, Marcelo Garcia Academy in New York City and Edge Wrestling in Hoboken. I would also like to thank my physical conditioning coach, KP. He's the man. And I would love to thank my sponsors for always supporting me, through all my injuries and through my ups and downs. So shout out to James Sexton, shout out to VHTS, the Gi Company, and shout out to Hook Sweep, and shout out to Woods Life as well. Thank you so much.